and we create a new table and we name it test table 2, and then we need to define a partition key and a sort key. But what is a sort key? Sort key actually is a part of the primary key. Sometimes we just have the partition key and it must be unique, and sometimes we have partition key and the sort key, and the combination of these two keys must be unique. So in simple words, sometimes only the partition key is the primary key, and sometimes the combination of partition key and the sort key is the primary key. Okay, now let me tell you how it works, and then we will talk about it, that why do we need a sort key. But first, how it works. Actually, in the partition key, we only have one operator, and that is the equal operator. What I mean that you need to provide a value which is equal to this partition key, and it will fetch the relevant record from the table. But in the sort key, we can have different operators like equals, not equals, starting with, contains. So we have these kind of operators. And one more thing, DynamoDB is a no SQL database. Like we don't have SQL queries like select asterisk from table where column name is equal to this value or something like that. No, there is no SQL in DynamoDB. Okay, now to create a table with a partition key and a sort key, let's imagine a scenario of a clinic where people come for the checkup. Now, the same person can have multiple visits on different dates. So, in this scenario, in the partition key, we can have person ID as the partition key, and in the sort key, we can have visit date. Dates are stored as a string in DynamoDB. So, in this case, when we need to query, we need to provide the person ID. And after that, if we provide sort key is not a must to provide. So if we don't provide the sort key, it will show you all the records where the person ID is, whatever you provide the value. But if you also provide the sort key, it will fetch all those relevant records which meet the criteria. Now, if you want all the persons who visit on a specific date, you cannot query that. So you need to design your table and provide here visit date, and in the sort key you need to provide person ID. Now in this case you just need to provide a date, and if you don't provide a sort key, it will show you all the records where the visit date is the provided value. So whatever the scenario you have in your mind, that how would you query the table normally, you need to create a partition key and the sort key. Later we can define indexes and then we can query on some other attributes. I will tell you how to do that. So now if I can tell you what kind of data we can store in our primary key. So this is our partition key visit date and our sort key person ID. Now, for example, on 1st of January 2026, a person with the ID 1234 visited the clinic. So these all are valid primary keys because even I am repeating the values in visit date and also in person ID field, their combination is unique. But if I try to insert a value like 3rd of January 2026, the same person 1234 visited the clinic, then I cannot enter this value because this combination already exists here. So in this case, if I try to insert this value, it will override the existing value, or it will generate an error if we already have configured it in our query to insert the value. Okay, now let's go back to DynamoDB and let's create this table. Our table has been created. Now let's click on this, and currently there are no values, but let me insert some values. Okay, I have entered some records in the table, and before I sort them, you can notice that there are no sorting. When you insert a new record, it can store it anywhere in the table. And when you try to fetch the records, there is no sorting. Okay, now let's sort the records as per person ID. And here you can notice that this person, Mia Robinson, it has 4 records visited in different dates. And the same way, James Wilson also has 4 records visited in different dates. So as I told you that the combination of one record must be unique. And this was the scan operation. And now let's talk about the query.